Yeah, so hello my wonderful viewers. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm joined by a guest here. So I will allow him to introduce himself and we go into the video. So I will allow him to introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you very, very much, by Mustafa. I'm very, very much happy of your invitation, to have a wonderful talk on culture. My name is, Lamin Darboe, and then thank you very, very much, for having me in this platform. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for that wonderful introduction. So today we'll be dealing with culture. What is culture? Why is culture important in the society and why is it important to have culture in the society and why is culture fading away? So we will be dealing with these topics in detail. So what I would like from you is to like this video, share it with family and friends because I know this video will be interesting. So share it with family and friends and turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified anytime I upload a new video in YouTube. So with that being said, we can go into our discussion. So Dabo, when you hear about culture, what first comes to your mind?
Thank you once again, by Mustafa, this topic of culture, is very, very important. Why? Yeah, and then from your introduction, what I'm hearing, it sound attractive, it sound very, very important to me. Like, if you ask me this question, what comes to my mind if I hear the word culture, you know, is due to the fact that like I will give you the definition of culture, and then from that definition of culture, so the breaking down of culture in that definition, so that is what comes to my mind. Basically, culture just simply refers to a way of life, a way of life in terms of our laws, in terms of our costumes, and also in terms of our traditions, our architectural design. So whatsoever is being cemented on us by our forefathers, of our ancestors, in terms of our rules and regulation, I see it to be a culture in a particular or in a given society. Understand? So this is what comes to my mind. And then what comes to my mind about culture is that we are culture. Understand? We are the representative of our own culture that had been rooted here and then is still being here. Yeah, thank you very, very much. This is
Yeah,
what I
and to me,
Mm.
what first comes to my mind when I hear the name of culture is the ideas of people, their beliefs, and their way of life. That's what comes to my mind when I hear the culture. Yeah, so
And what you are saying about ideas of people, yes, it's very, very true. This is what comes to your mind. So like ideas of people, their beliefs is all a way of life, and then ideas of people, their belief is all part of the traditions that is being passed on us here. You understand? When you talk about the ideas in terms of culture, you have different ideas in different cultural background. Understand? Other people's idea, for example, like if you go to the taboos and then totems, other people's idea would say if you are pregnant, you should not eat eggs.
yeah,
So these are ideas that have been developed, but there are ideas that are based on laws, and also there are ideas that are based on our costumes. There are ideas that are based on our lifestyle, on how we put on our clothes. Do you understand? Yeah. So that is it. Basically, that is also very, very important. Yeah.
we just deal with what comes in our mind when we hear the name of culture. So comment down below what first comes in your mind when you hear the name of culture. So share your thoughts in the comment section. So Dabo, why is it important to have culture in our society?
Yeah, once again, you come up with a very, very, very important question. As I said in the definition, which involve our lifestyles, you know, which involve our code of conducts, which involves our religion, and which involve our behaviors as code of conduct, and which involve our tradition. So basically, culture is part of our daily activities of living. So we cannot do away with culture. That's why its significance, is just like 100%. It's very, very, very important. Why is it that culture is important? Is due to the fact that culture binds people together. For example, we take a joker relationship as an example. The joker relationship that exists between Kiang and
Badiman.
Badibu. And then joker relationship that exists between Yomi and Jara. So these cultural differences, this cultural joker relationship, binds us together. And then the differences in our cultural histories, the differences in our cultural background, you can learn, appreciate and endorse other people's culture. So all this thing comes, the learning aspect of it comes, the appreciation of it comes because of what? Our cultural diversification. So cultural diversification is very, very important in trying to bring people together to appreciating and learn each other's cultural norms and value. You know, culture also serves as a nation building in the sense that like tourists usually comes to the Gambia here. So that cultural background, those instruments that we have in where those instruments that we have in the museum, is our cultural tools. So those traditions that we have, the traditional displays that we have, the masquerades, understand, the kankurans, the zimba and other stuffs. When the tourists come at the end of the day, what does it do? It builds a nation economically, and not only that, it builds a nation because what happened? Different cultural background coming together in different in the same conversation and in the same symposium having talks. This also serves as a what? Nation builder, understand? And also culture, settle dispute, crisis among people. Understand? For example, so and so, are having dispute among themselves. One particular cultural background could come and then interfere and then talk to them and then they easily leave. And also some, as I explained in the joker relationship, due to that joker relationship as the culture that we are having, we'll be able to settle certain disputes. At the end of the day, if you reflect on the cultures that we are having, it's just trying to what? Build our nation in trying to settle the dispute that exists between us. Another thing about culture is due to the fact that identification comes in based on your cultural outfit and then based on your cultural looks. You are able to differentiate. The identification I mean, understand? You are able to differentiate with whether this is a full of cultural. This culture is pertaining to the Fullers, or this culture is pertaining to the Mandinkas, or this culture is pertaining to the Manjagos and so on. So it's very, very important for us to identify one another. Culture brings about what? Identification. And identification is very, very important. You easily identify one another without any difficulty. So like culture, serves to identify people from different cultural background, which is it's important. And then the importance of culture, is very, very broad to talk on. Without much ado, I think I can stop here. Maybe as the talk continues, we will have more idea to talk about the importance of culture.
And culture is important in society because it teaches us the do's and the don'ts in society, the good and the bad. This is good, this is bad. Do this, don't do this. So culture teaches us all this. And culture also teaches us the way of life, how we should live in society, how we should embrace and accept people irrespective of the differences we have in us. And culture teaches us also how to raise our kids and children well in the society, good manners, and culture also teaches us how to respect elders, giving each person its due respect. So those are my adjustments to what you just said because you have said it all.
Definitely. No, I did not say it all. So you are just giving me that bonus. And then what you are saying, pertaining to what you are saying, right, is very, very, very important. Like when we look at our proverbs in a given society, it teaches the child what to do and then what not should do. Understand? Like the proverb that I can recall is that no matter how big a calabash is, there's another calabash that is bigger than it. So that is simply trying to tell the youngs, the youth that are growing, to know that let them not feel big, because no matter how they feel big of themselves, there's someone whom like is having higher mentality as compared to their mentality. And these cultural proverbs that we have, and then these cultural taboos and these cultural totems that we have, yes, like they kind of tell kids in the environment kids in that particular society of how they should be, how they should behave. Yes, there are saying that certain taboos, should be eradicated. They are not true, and sort of and so on. But looking at it in mass, in group, you find out that so many of the taboos are in line with our behaviors. Yes, there are taboos like a pregnant woman should not eat egg. Yes, we basically know pregnant woman should eat egg because the child inside needs a lot of proteins. Need the required protein. Yeah, but you can also see that there are certain taboos that really educates people, and you can see that there are certain proverbs that really educate people. You understand? They just apply on our attitude, on our way of life, our behaviors, in terms of having good relationship and a good attitude in a particular society, and then how we will be able to interact peacefully and soundly by abiding by the rules and regulations laid by these taboos and then also reflecting on the proverb that have been led. Understand? So it's very, very important you bringing up this point. Thank you
It's
very
very
much.
important to have culture in society, so, because it teaches us the way of life, the way you should live your life, the way you should interact with people in society, the way you should embrace people in society, the way you should talk to people, the way you should respond to people. Culture teaches you all this. So with all this, you will have a proper upbringing of children. So if they have all these qualities in them, they will have good manners and people will appreciate them. This is what we have as Gambians in us.
Yeah.
That's why people are saying the Gambian people are friendly. They are this because of the culture we have in us. Yeah. So that way, if you look at the society we live in now, it's like culture is fading away. So why do you think that culture is fading away?
If you look at the society that we're living in, culture is fading away. And why, do I think culture is fading away? By, this is extra important question. I will share my idea to the reason that why is that culture is fading away. Culture is fading away in the country because, in the society, we did not know the importance of culture. You cannot endorse something without knowing the importance of it. For example, a kid of age 3 or age 4, could not differentiate the importance of dalasi and then $100. For that being the case, 95% of the kids that have been given dalasi on $100 would prefer to take dalasi instead of to take $100 due to what? Lack of knowing the importance of $100 to their life as compared to the dalasi. That's why, the teachings of the importance and the sensitizations of the importance of our culture is very, very paramount in trying to, mimic the fading away of our culture. As I mentioned, the sensitization of peoples of the society and in the country about culture is really lagging. If it is happening, it's also very, very minimal. So we can enrich our culture by sensitizing, and we are talking about why is it fading. It's due to the fact that we are not sensitizing the general public about our own culture.
Yeah.
And if we do not sensitize, at the end of the day, people will tend to forget about the culture, and as time goes on, we will no longer talk about our culture in the country. And this is very, very important. Really is in a percentage of 75 that Gambian culture is really running away or is really fading away. And awareness level which will coincide with the sensitization and also the importance about our culture is lacking. It's really lacking. We do not have the awareness to raise awareness about the importance of our culture, about believing in our culture, is really lacking. So all these are as a result why culture is fading away. And then we do not believe in what we have in this society. And then, we did not implement what we have in this society. We do not practicalize what we have in this society. that is why culture is really fading away. And then the teaching down of culture to the young ones from the parents, from the friends, from the groups, is really not, not taking place. You know, as it not taking place, it's really not encouraging. And then all these things sum up to what? Sum up to the fading of the culture that we have, in our environment. But there are times that I recall that, the elders in a particular society, would gather a place and then call the place Bantaba, where they would be sharing ideas, teaching, cultures, and then, bringing up proverbs that are culture related, bringing up laws that are culture related, bringing up stories that are culture related. But those things are not happening, and then that is just the sensitization aspect of it, and then raising awareness of it, and then teaching it down. But now all those things are not happening. As a result, culture is fading away. Yeah, so basically this is what I have.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's a brilliant contribution,
thank you.
Yeah, and the reason also why culture is fading away is because we are not practicing it. And anything that you are not practicing will tend to fade away. And culture is also fading away because parents are not teaching their children the culture. Because if parents are teaching the children the culture will not fade away. Because they will learn to embrace and accept their own. Why is culture fading away? It's because also people are trying to emulate other people's way of lifestyle, their culture. So if you emulate other people's way of lifestyle and their culture, you will tend to live your own, which will fade away our culture. Parents have a huge role in maintaining culture. So parents should try and teach their children the culture. Yeah. So that.
And also by,
Yeah.
like when you talk about culture is very, very broad. As I made the definition, it has to deal with our lifestyle, it has to deal with our religion, our cultural festivities, entertainment and costumes, and laws and other stuffs, traditions. If you come to the music area, you find out that, majority of the Gambian artists, I can say 99.2% of the Gambian artists are not really using our cultural instruments. And the cultural instrument in terms of our culture in music area is fading away. And then for us to be proud of our own self, I think it would have been good we use our own cultural instruments like balafons, like the chorus, like the tantamal or the tamas, and then like the flutus, and like the jibongs and other stuffs, because this really symbolizes our culture. We used to use our own culture to entertain our own people. At the end of the day, that majority of the artists will say, Afro manding, Afro this, Afro that is a lie. It's just that you are singing in the local language, but you are not actually implementing any Afro manding, any Afro this and any Afro that. If you want to make it Afro manding, if you want to make it balak and other stuff, it should completely be based purely on our instrument. But like areas in this is really fading away our culture. And also if you come to our lifestyle, our dress codes and sort of and so on. The dress code that we know, our cultural dress codes in the Gambia is really fading away. We have our tailors, they will be showing clothes of other people's culture, but not the culture that our forefathers have passed down to us. And they are very, very good clothes that we have in our society. It is really protective, it's really eye-catching, it's really attractive. Understand? So we have to come back to our lifestyle, our way of wearing things, our behaviors, and whatsoever entertainment areas. Bring our culture back, cultural instrument back, cultural awareness of our. That is it. So I think you can elaborate more on the point. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you can remember back in the days, the grandmas used to tell us some stories and the morals of the story. We used to learn a lot of lessons from it. But nowadays, all those are fading away because the grandmas now people don't value the grandmas that much because they know a lot of story to you. You learn something from it, you benefit from it, and you try to act upon that story. Because some stories are very educative and they will play a role in your life because you will know how to interact with people. It depends on the story that was narrated to you. You can use that story to make a difference in the society because If if a grandma tell you a story that like a person was bad in in the story, so you will try and then reflect on it so that you will not be a bad person in that like that person in the story. So storytelling play a huge role in our cultures, but that is all fading away because people are not practicing culture in the society. So that, how do you think we can maintain culture in the society?
Here, how do I think we can maintain culture in the society? Um, Sometimes the government had to play part in trying to maintain certain things, because when we mention culture, you know, those in the presidential level, you cannot exclude them. Those in the ministries, you cannot exclude them. Understand? They are all bound by the same culture. So we have to have genuine laws, a very, very concrete and a very, very strict laws governing our culture in the country. If culture is being constitutionalized, then definitely why culture would be maintained in the country. Culture had to be taught in grassroots level as it is being constitutionalized in our constitution. This would help us to be able to maintain our culture. And not only that, let it be a paramount responsibility of each and every parent in the country to have this time to teach their children the culture that we want them, the right culture. And also by upholding what we have, and also you know by upholding to our own culture. Whatever you are doing in this life, if you do not have the zeal and the passion of doing it, then what I mean by that is, if you do not have the belief of doing it, it can't go. So by being able to maintain our culture or maintain our culture is also to believe in our culture, as this is our way of life, as this is what governs us, this is our tradition. And it's not a bad tradition, because there are certain cultures that are being practiced in the environment, in the society. You would even think that it is religious, why it is not religious. This is due to the fact that it's posting more positive effect on the society as compared to the negative effect. That's why people could not differentiate its application in terms of religious wise and also in cultural wise. So basically, these are the ways that we will be able to maintain our culture. By appreciating one's culture and then learning one's culture is very, very important in trying to maintain our culture. So as I mentioned earlier, like, culture should be taught in societal wise, starting from the parents, societal wise, having, group conversation, that is having programs, having sensitization, gatherings, whereas, you'll be teaching people about the basics of culture and then also inside of the culture. This will also help to maintain our culture. So basically, like, this is a way in which we will able to maintain our culture. If you have anything to share.
Yeah, we can maintain our culture by teaching the younger generation the culture. As I said, told you earlier in the other question, that parents have a huge role in maintaining culture in the society. Parents should teach their children the culture because the culture teaches us the way of life. And introducing the culture in schools also can help us to maintain the culture in the society. Students will have access to teachers so that teachers can help them learn their culture in the best easy way possible. Now, by emulating others, we will tend to leave our culture. So we should not try to emulate other people so that we can maintain our culture. So my advice to people is that let us embrace and accept our own and go with that, because I think culture is the best way of life. So that way, if you have anything to add.
Yes, what we are saying here is a point. So, like, this would refer us back to why is that culture is fading away.
Yeah.
It's due to the fact that if you emulate other people's culture, makes your culture also fade away.
Yeah.
And then what I'm coming to add on the the how could we be able to maintain our culture is that having understanding, and knowing the importance of your culture would also be very very paramount in trying to maintain our culture. So basically this is what I have to add about the sensitization about our culture to be also increase. These are all ways of maintaining our culture in a country. And then as said also, teaching culture at grassroots level is very very important to endorse and appreciate and then carry on with our culture and family by making laws as said here. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that brilliant education. So in summary of what we discussed, so this is the end of the video. In summary of what we discussed was what is culture, why is it important to have culture in the society, and why is culture fading away, and how we can maintain culture in the society. So this is a brilliant contribution, Davo. So he also have a YouTube channel. So I would want you to do me a favor and subscribe to his YouTube channel as that can DARBKE. It will be on the screen and it will be in the description below. So check it out. So Davo, if you have any conclusion remarks, you can.
Yes, all what I would say is that, by Mustafa, make sure like you keep on this because this is really, really a very good content, and it's very, very good. So this content really makes you feel proud, and then anyone who is watching this and then is a patriotic Gambia would really, want this channel to be posted forward because this is what is, showing the Gambia out. And then look at the content, very, very important. Our culture that is fading away, all these are ways in which we could be able to restore our culture back because this is going immediately. And then if anyone happens to listen to this and then grab something important from this, will truly come back to understand and know that this is what I'm supposed to do. So sensitization is from this level. We are not only saying, but we are really acting. We are sensitizing. And then thank you very, very much for inviting me.
Yeah, so like this video, share the video with family and friends, and share the video in all your social media platforms. So thank you for watching these videos. As I told you, more interesting videos will be coming your way. So your duty is to subscribe, share, and like the video. That's your duty. So see you in the upcoming lesson as more interesting lessons will be coming. So thank you.